Good morning, Martin. I see you've got two new arrivals with you today.
Yes, Will. Yeah, down at Exeter, I was just getting off the team coach, and it was near where all the Barnet supporters were. And I saw these two ladies with their Barnet scarves on, and I thought I'd have a nice little chat with them. And it turns out that Doreen, who's from Whetstone, and Valerie from Woodford Green, we had a nice bit of banter, and I invited them in this morning to come and see us at the training ground and meet the players, have some pictures done, see what we do and see what's all around my office and the staff and the players. Doreen's been supporting Barnet for how long?
60 years, nearly.
And Valerie?
Same.
So 120 years between them, so made me feel young for today. So it's a great area. It's nice to be in touch with all our supporters, and no doubt that we'll have a chance for a cup of tea a little bit later with both the ladies, and I can ask they can ask me some questions and find out what's going on.
Looking back at the Easter period, Barnet had a good Easter, a point at Exeter and a win against Luton. How do you think the team performed?
Well, there's no doubt about it. To get 4 points from those two games against two teams that have found a bit of form recently, it was a good return. Perhaps the game at Exeter at times, the geezer at that shot at the post and went along the goal line, that was a bonus. But there again, we also had a penalty with 5 minutes to go, so it could have been 6 just as easily. And like I say, against two teams that are gunning for the playoffs, and of course with the budget and the amount of money that Luton spend on players in a local derby, and someone was telling me that we hadn't beaten Luton for, I don't know, when we last beat Luton, you two should know.
A long time.
Yeah, never. We got a nervous tit. No, never beat them.
And that's what I heard.
Well, if that is the case, it's just good to win the game. Let's be honest. Doesn't matter who it's against, but a local derby. And I suppose once again, it's another measure of the progress that we're kind of making. There's no doubt about it. The game wasn't a pretty game. But with the wind in the first half, we attacked and dominated them, and then when the teams turned round, with the wind then coming down the pitch, it's very difficult for us to get out of our own half. There was a bloke at the garage on the A41 after that game on the way home that said, Martin, he was really moaning at me, Martin, why are you telling the defence to all sit back? Why are you telling them all to sit back to defend the goal? Well, that bloke at the garage, I had to give him a little bit back pretty rapid. I cannot do anything about the wind that comes down the pitch. That means that when we kick the ball, it don't go as far up the pitch and you can't get out. It's difficult to get out. We saw it all last season, you've seen it all this season. So the fella from the garage, when I was filling up the petrol, I didn't tell them to sit back, but when we do sit back, we have practiced not to concede goals. And of course, bottom line is we win, and that is the bottom line. 6 points over that weekend, we're on to 51. Mathematically we can't go down. We've also had, Will, 2 Football League debuts down at Exeter with Harry Taylor and Justin. Both of them done superbly well, but all good for the future. Bit of planning for the future. And of course at Exeter we play with a completely different style of play, where we try to keep possession, move the ball around the pitch more, rather than against Luton with the wind using the missile.
One of the highlights from the Luton game was definitely the return of Graham Stack. How do you think that he got on, and does that give you something of a selection dilemma when it comes to the next few matches?
It was great to see him back. He's been out for 7 months. He had a massive part to play in our success last season. I don't think I'll ever forget the 2 saves that spring to mind. The deflected shot away at Kidderminster when we were 1-0 down was an unbelievable save. And then at Gateshead at home, I think it was the 65th minute, when they hadn't had a shot at our goal, and the blokes headed it from the 6-yard box down on this right hand, but this bottom end from the 6-yard box, headed it into the bottom corner, and Stacky touched it around. We were 2-0 up. That would have made it 2-1 with 25, 30 minutes to go. I think it would have been a test in half an hour. the work that he does off the field, coaching Kai and Jamie and our other young goalkeepers that we've got here, doesn't ever get seen by anybody. And also his input when we sit here in this office into team selection, training and challenging me in what I do. His input has been priceless. It's hard to put it into words how good he's been for me personally, for the team, for the club. And yes, it does give me a dilemma. I'm very happy that Jamie signed a 2-year deal. He's young, he's got a huge future ahead of him. But of course we'll have to give games now to Graham Stack, and we'll have to see how he is going to get on. Obviously with his contract expiring, big decisions have to be made.
The other player to return from, well, reasonably long injury was Michael Gash. How do you think that he got on in the game against Luton?
I thought he'd done very well. It was a game where, did you think he done alright?
Yes, it made a big difference.
Made a big difference. Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yes. He does a lot of things that a lot of people don't see.
Like what?
Well, he's always running around, running, making space for others, things like that.
Yeah, well, when it's messy, when the game's messy, windy, and the wind, you know, you can't kid yourself, the wind does have an important factor here for when we do play. He's brilliant playing in those conditions. He holds the ball up, he wins his headers, he wins flicks, and we really have missed him for the few months where he's been out. But of course we never mention the players that are not playing, but we have missed him for sure. And it was great to have him back as well. He never played any reserve games, and I just had a gut feeling. You know, I went against all the rules that you're supposed to take into account from the doctor and the physio, and said he's playing, that's it. And you know, we all love Gash, don't we?
There were a number of impressive performances on Monday, but Sam Muggleton must have had one of the best games of the season for him. Do you think he's developing a lot as the season goes on?
I'm not sure I actually want to single out sort of too many individual players. I don't think anyone could deny that he needed to improve his game as a footballer, in possession, out possession, physically and technically. He needed to improve right across the board. But since I had him at Gillingham, 3 years ago, he's grown in height, but his dad's 6'4" anyway, so I knew that was going to happen. He's had a great work ethic, very similar to his dad, who was obviously a professional footballer. Yeah, he's had to train harder than all these other players put together. He doesn't do the same training as all the others. He gets very physical training, and he never complains. I'm delighted with his improvement. I'm delighted with his involvement, how he's evolving as a player, as a person. He lives in a little flat on his own, cooks for himself, away from his family, don't know anybody, and he just comes in the same person each and every day that he comes in here. And of course, with the throw-in that he's got, you know, we all like to watch nice football, but I think everyone would have to agree it is a massive help when you've got that wind and you can throw it 60 yards and it's landing inside their penalty spot. And whenever we play against the tough clubs, the big clubs, he plays and we always win. So we're doing something right.
Elliot Johnson missed out on the Luton game, and Barnet Bailey's still injured as well. Do you have any update on their progress ahead of the Morecambe match?
Elliot's got a sore shoulder. We'll see how he is when we get up to Morecambe. Byra, he's on his second week now of training with us and doing extra football work outside. So Byra will be travelling with us up to Morecambe tomorrow, but I'm not sure he's quite ready yet. He's right on that borderline now.
Okay, finally, the Bees drew with Morecambe at the Hive earlier this season. What kind of threat do you think we can expect from them on Saturday?
Every game we play is a difficult game. I drove up to Morecambe a couple of months ago to watch them in a replay, FA Cup replay against Dagenham on a Tuesday night. They've got some good players. They haven't had a great run of it recently, but you know, for a club that's been established in Division 2 now for 10 years after coming up from the conference, Jim Bent is an excellent manager. he always manages to find good players, put good teams together, and every game we play is an hard game. We've got to make sure that the players that do play for us on Saturday, and we will be making changes to that team that beat Luton. We will give other players a chance. Every player that gets on that bus tomorrow morning to go up north and goes out and puts that kit on Saturday afternoon has got to be right on it. We've got a chance of getting high points total for this club, and I want that record. I want to beat it and get as many points as we can. Michael Gash, we've decided to take up the option on his contract. So Michael Gash will be with us now for next season, and also Jamie Roberts. His loan has now expired from Oxford. He done a really good job for us. I couldn't quite get him into the team over this last weekend, and he's now gone back to Oxford with a big well done from me, and a big thank you to everybody from Oxford for helping us out when at the time we did need help because we didn't have too many players. Have you got anything to add?
I've got anything to add now. I think we did great over the weekend.
Yeah. Who played well for you against Luton?
Well, Sam Muggleton, I think, stood out.
Yeah.
I think he's coming on leaps and bounds. I like to see the youngsters.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's nice. Well, I think it's nice for. Hopefully, it's nice for all supporters. To see Harry Taylor. You were at Exeter.
Yes.
Didn't he play well down there?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Yeah.
And Justin, with his pace and his strong runner. I only took him for half time because I thought he was getting a little bit tired over that last 10 minutes. But he played well as well, didn't he, Justin?
He took a little bit of time, I think, to settle in. I think he was nervous.
Yeah, do you?
But yeah.
A bit like you now, doing this.
Yeah. But he got into the game. The longer the game went on, the more he got into it.
He's a great lad as well. And what about you? Who's your favourite players over the weekend?
I don't want to single anyone out. I think as a team, they all performed. And they all performed for their shirt. If I had to single one out, then it had to be Sam.
Really?
Yeah.
Sam Muggleton?
Sam Muggleton, yeah.
Right, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
When they train, they go in the gym early, they stay out on the pitch and practice. His body fat, not like mine, has come down. He's fitter, faster and stronger from his own dedication and own hard work that he's applied to get to where he is now. And I love it when I see these young players improve.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say to all the supporters?
No. I think we're all very happy with the season we've had. It has always been a season just to consolidate. Maybe next season aim for the playoffs.
Is that your
that is my opinion.
Yeah, what about you?
I think next season we should go straight for promotion.
I'm not going to you'll be fine. Well, we've got a bit of work to do this morning, and of course it's great that you two have come in to see us this morning, Valerie and Doreen. Any other supporters that want to come down to watch training, you're always welcome. And all the supporters, you're always welcome to come in here, into my office, and talk and ask questions about what do we do this for, what do we do that for, because we don't just do it, off the cuff. Most of it's all planned and prepared and thought of beforehand. So you're always more than welcome to come and sit in here, have a cup of coffee, see what's going on and find out what's happening here at Barnet, because kind of a smallish following of smallish kind of club, and for us to get bigger I think we all need to grow and get that feeling of all being sort of together, that togetherness that you can get within a club with our supporters, and I think I can feel it kind of growing, and those penalties in the 96th minute of course help.
Thanks, Martin.